I think that we both agree that when it comes to Cole's performance and maybe the way that he makes adjustments this year, I think bringing in a guy like Rodon is going to be significant for him just because those guys will feed off of each other. And it's a similar kind of arm that's a power arm. Rodon has similar velo when he's on top of his game. However, he's really good at keeping the ball in the park. So maybe he learns a thing or two from Rodon, and maybe Rodon learns a thing or two from Cole. And I think that dynamic can be very significant for both of them moving forward.
Yeah, and let's get into Rodon because he's penciled in as our number two, who we expect the whole year to be pitching, pretty much except for these next few weeks. The report is that Rodon had forearm discomfort. We always kind of panic when we look at that kind of injury report because that's generally the precursor to greater issues with the UCL potential Tommy John surgery situation. Rodon has come out. The Yankees have come out. Jack Curry just had a report today saying that it's not a big deal. Matt Blake said that Rodon looked really good in a bullpen today. He'll be throwing as early May. So we're going to see him out for about a month of the beginning of the season, and then hopefully he's ready to go. Rodon is that premier signing, really, of the offseason. Obviously, Judge is the big technical free agent signing, but he's retaining a homegrown player. The Yankees kind of lost on a gamble with Judge not giving him the money he was looking for. But Rodon really is that premier signing. Jake, you alluded to it. He's exceptional at keeping the ball in the park. Now the benefit, the last 2 seasons, he pitched for the White Sox and he pitched for the Giants, both who play in famously pitcher favoring ballparks, especially the latter of the Giants. But 13 home runs given up in 2021, 12 homers given up in 2022. Both of those all-star season top 5 Cy Young finishes, seemingly out of nowhere. This guy goes from having an ERA plus from 2015 through 2020 of 100 or below. 2021, he has an ERA plus of 185, and 22 an ERA plus of 140. He led MLB in FIP last year. The Giants were a notoriously terrible defense, even though he was in a pitcher's park. So they say that he had a better projected ERA even than Sandy Alcantara, who ended up winning the Cy Young Award. And now the Yankees have him in a ballpark that's interesting for his type of pitcher. What do you think about Rodon's injury? How do you feel about him this season?
So just to preface one thing real quick, I was thinking about the whole pitcher-friendly ballpark thing. A pitcher-friendly ballpark is pitcher-friendly if you have a good defense behind you, but if you have a bad one that bobbles the ball all around the little external parts of the third base and first base line where there's all that extra room, that could add to a lot of unwarranted runs, essentially. So I am not that concerned about that aspect at all. I think you don't really have that in Yankee Stadium other than maybe a little bit of left field, but I'm hopeful on that end. That being said, I love Rodon. I've been a big fan of him. I wanted him all offseason, and I'm ecstatic that we finally got him. He's the type of bulldog pitcher that we've needed this entire time, and I'm really not concerned about this forearm injury just because of the way that he spoke about it. He said that he's had this before. He had it all last season. And the cadence of his voice when he was explaining this earlier in the offseason when they decided to shut him down in like the beginning of spring training was very much like, I could easily pitch through this. I just don't want to do that. There's no reason to risk it right now. There's no structural damage. This is something that I can work through, but once again, why should I be working through it if I can simply work on it, shut down for a little bit, and then come back stronger than ever? And that sounds like the spot we're currently at right now. Not only did Matt Blake say that he looked really good in his most recent bullpen session, which was I think earlier today or yesterday, but he said it was the best they've seen him as a Yankee. And if that's the case, that might be him returning to form of mid-season, early last season as well, 2022, when he was pumping high 90s. So if we look at his baseball savant page, we're talking about whiff rate of 86%. Is that top 86 percentile? Whereas the difference between him and Cole, I mean, he's got the same K rate, 95%. But when you get down to the, barrel rate, he's still top 66%. So even though he's throwing that high velo with the high spin and all that, he's missing the barrels, which is huge. And I think a lot of that is credited to him making a conscious decision in 2021, the start of the 2021 season, to completely rescope and rechange the way that he throws the baseball and his mechanics. He realized, oh, the reason I'm getting hurt is because I'm not that efficient with my body. If I can learn to, generate more torque and action with my lower half, then that's going to take a little bit more pressure off my upper half. And yeah, I mean, ever since that point, it was almost immediate results. And I think that talent potential was always there, but he just finally tapped into it in 2021. And as a younger pitcher, he's still just turned 30. He's got plenty of good years in front of him. So I'm really excited of what he's going to bring to the table. We're looking at probably another 250 plus strikeout guy, assuming he's able to stay, healthy for 180 innings. Even 170, I'll take, like, gladly.
Yeah, and in terms of looking at Rodon's career, you see a lot of years that are pretty mid, for lack of a better term, very league average. And you might think, why did Rodon not get the deal that he wanted after 2021, but he got it after 2022? And you look at all of the residual advanced statistics, Rodon had a very repeatable 2022 season. It was very much reflective of his great 2021 season, in which he was the Cy Young frontrunner until getting hurt down the line. He only threw about 135 innings. Last year, he threw about 170. And like you said, I would take that in a heartbeat. That's more than most pitchers throw. Corbin Burns won the Cy Young on fewer innings 2 years ago. His every residual statistic from K rate, jumped up 37%, like you said, in that top 10 percentile in MLB back-to-back years. His pitch mix, his fastball, 2021, 59%, 2022, 61%. Pretty significantly different from the previous years. It jumped up about 10%. His slider using right around 30% back-to-back years, waning out his changeup. He's really a two-pitch pitcher, really going for a bit more of a curveball approach, taking away from his changeup. All of the batted ball statistics, like right in line from last year. It's eerily similar. You don't see a lot of pitchers have these back-to-back years. So if you're looking at Rodon's history and thinking, oh, this could be 2 fluke years, it could be situational stuff, I think, like to what Jake said, he really changed his approach in his mechanics, in his pitch mix, how he approaches the game, and he's given back-to-back pretty repeatable seasons. So I'd be more in line to see him with what he did in 2021 and 22 as opposed to 2020 or earlier. And I'm really excited for him. I could see him. We talked about his pitch mix. We talked about his approach to hitters. His attitude is just really conducive to New York, and I know that's a basic talking point, very simple to say, but in terms of a team that needs fire from the starting rotation, we have some fun with Nestor. We have professionalism with Cole. I think Rodon is a real winner, and he's someone who craves winning. That's why he came to the Yankees. He's had a really good approach with the media. He had no problem with shaving his beard. He looks really good with the mustache that he has going. I'm very excited to see him come through as a number 2 pitcher. Even if Cole is off his game, to have Rodon coming behind him, that's some backup pitching that we haven't had in a while.
He's going to shove, and it's going to be awesome, and everyone's going to like it. That's all I got to say about him.